Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Today, news broke that Bob Arum told a reporter that he had worked out an agreement for his fighter, Manny Pacquiao, to fight Floyd Mayweather, and all the agreement needed was for Floyd Mayweather to consent to it. Right? The inference was that Top Rank, Bob Arum's company, had reached some kind of tentative agreement with Golden Boy, who had been negotiating on Mayweather's behalf, and Mayweather's advisors to get this fight done. Um, I thought this video was necessary because let's talk about what Floyd Mayweather should do. And I make this video with the view that Floyd Mayweather, if they fought, would actually beat Manny Pacquiao. I have a few videos up online. Just Google them. You'll see my reasons for believing that Floyd Mayweather will beat Manny Pacquiao. Now, what's the best move for Floyd? Economically, because while boxing is a sport, it's also the fighter's livelihood. And quite frankly, Mayweather's obligation should be to himself, to his family, to his team, the people who rely on him for a paycheck, and to, of course, his future. And with all of that in mind, and I don't think Floyd Mayweather watches my videos, but with all of that in mind, and since I do own a business and I do invest, and I was an economics major way back in college. With that in mind, let me just say that I don't think Floyd Mayweather should fight Manny Pacquiao this year. Bob Arum has said that whether or not Floyd agrees, Manny Pacquiao is going to fight in November. Now, Pacquiao, of course, wanted a 50% split, even though his last fight against Joshua Clottey only got half the pay-per-view of Mayweather's fight against Shane Mosley. Now, understand, as a fight fan, obviously we all want to see the fight. We want to see the best fight the best, but boxing is a business. I believe Floyd gains nothing by fighting Manny Pacquiao this year. Force Pacquiao to earn his 50%. Have Pacquiao fight someone who is going to allow him to pull in at least 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. Understand that Pacquiao is going to expand his legacy, especially after his last fight. He's going to have to fight someone major. He's going to have to take on a lot of risk. He's going to have to fight Antonio Margarito, who's a Bob Arum fighter, or Miguel Cotto, who is greatly improved now that he's with Emmanuel Stewart. Now, let me just point out that there is a distinct possibility, and we all know Floyd is concerned about his legacy. Forget this check cashing stuff. The checks are nice, but I'm sure Floyd, 30 years from now, wants to walk down the street and have a bystander look at him and say, there goes the best fighter of his generation. And it's the real title that Manny and Floyd are fighting each other for. Well, my point is simply this. Manny Pacquiao will cease being a contender for the title of best fighter of his generation if he fights and loses to an Antonio Margarito, right? If Manny Pacquiao loses, then he's no longer viable as an opponent for Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather doesn't even have to fight him ever, right? If Manny Pacquiao beats Antonio Margarito in November, then the fight everyone will want to see, just like now, is Manny against Floyd Mayweather. In other words, all roads lead to Mayweather regardless. Now, Mayweather, by fighting Shane Mosley, who was on most people's top 5 list pound for pound, and who at the time held a belt at welterweight, has given Floyd enough to stay in the public eye for this year. So just in terms of risk, Floyd could literally take time off and force his opponent eventual opponent, Manny Pacquiao, to self-immolate. Because quite frankly, I think Antonio Margarito might beat Manny Pacquiao. And even if Pacquiao were to fight Miguel Cotto again, right? Cotto is improved. Who knows what would happen in that rematch? And keep in mind, I say this as someone who picked Manny over Cotto the first time they fought, right? Let me also point out too that Manny Pacquiao's calling card is his speed. He's among the fastest boxers in the sport. I mean, the only guy who to me is remotely as close in speed to Manny Pacquiao would probably be Ivan Calderon, and he's much lighter than Manny Pacquiao, right? Pacquiao is blessed with great speed. Well, we all know that speed is the first thing to go. Age doesn't help speed when you're on the other side of 30. The other thing, too, is of course, Manny Pacquiao has other obligations now. He's now a member of the government in the Philippines. So, my point to you is simply this. Let's say that Floyd waits and fights Manny next year in March or April. And let's say Manny gets by hard hitting Antonio Margarito, which is not a given, right? Well, my point to you is if it's a tough, debilitating fight, just like Margarito's fight against Kermit Cintron or his fight, both Cintron fights, or his fight against Miguel Cotto, if it's a tough, debilitating fight, Manny might be so banged up, he might not be the same fighter after that fight. In other words, he'll, at a minimum, have more wear and tear and be an easier opponent for Floyd next year. Of course, if Manny doesn't get by Margarito, then Floyd's star shines even that much brighter because history will remember that he beat Shane Mosley, who, of course, previously beat Antonio Margarito, right? Also, let's think money. You know, I'm in California and I can tell you here the unemployment rate is 12.4%. The United States is hurting. We're in a recession. Times are tough. An event that might be a, let's say, $70 million event this year might be the same event, an 80 or $90 million event when this economy recovers and more people have jobs and more people have money to spend on things like boxing events and pay-per-view, right? And so my point to you is even financially, let's say Pacquiao destroys Antonio Margarito. Financially, the event might even be bigger in April or May or March than it would be in November. And so, were I Floyd, I would stay in the gym. I would relax. I would say, hey, I'm taking this year off. I'd let my body heal, but I would stay in shape. I would continue to spar. I would continue to do the things, but understand doing that doesn't risk his legacy. Then I would see what Manny Pacquiao does against Antonio Margarito. If it's a tough fight and Pac loses, you know what? Floyd can cross Pac off his list of opponents, right? Maybe he'll then want to fight Margarito. If Pac wins the fight and does it convincingly, then Floyd has an even bigger payday. The fight will be even more hyped. In fact, it'll have even more intrigue because Floyd would have been out for, an extended period of time and the public would be buzzing just like it was before Floyd's 1.1 million pay-per-view fight against Juan Manuel Marquez after being out for an extended period of time. So I don't see the upside for Floyd. I'll agree that if he doesn't fight Manny Pacquiao, right, then he misses out on the payday. But my point is, if Pacquiao wants to be crowned the best of his generation, he's going to have to fight Floyd eventually. And if I'm Floyd, and if I've been sitting in negotiations where I'm hearing from the Pacquiao people that he's entitled to a 50% cut when I have continually gotten bigger numbers in pay-per-view, then my attitude would simply be, hey, look, he can get 50 next year after he gets the kind of numbers that I've already received. Let me know your thoughts. If I were Floyd, I'd wait till early next year. Let me know your